Do you think there's a chance that you give up too easily? Look, in this episode I want to talk to you about Walt Disney, dog food, J.K. Rowling's, and yes, you got it, the mighty Colonel Sanders. Why I want to talk about these? Well, you're going to have to watch the episode to find out, but it's going to help your business, I promise you that. Hey guys, well in this episode I want to talk to you about how determined you are to really get what you want out of your business and out of your life. How determined are you to actually fix the things that you may not be happy with in your company? I'm going to give you a couple of examples as well to drive home this point that I want to make, but number one in determining successful habits for your business is you having the determination to get to the finishing line. If you've got something that you believe will work, then you've got to do everything it takes to make sure you get that done. Now that could be you working out how to have that reliable, predictable, affordable lead generation system for yourself. Could be you really focusing on improving the sales skills of your team. Could be you working on systems to be able to pull yourself out of your company so that the company can run on its own without you. Whatever you want to achieve, don't just start it and then give up just because it gets a little bit tough and it's not working the way that it's meant to. Got to give it all it's got, and I'm going to be showing you a few examples of this and the benefits that you get. And yes, I'm going to have a gift for you at the end of this as well. Now, the gift that I'm going to give to you is going to show you just how far you can take your business if you have the determination and the willpower to succeed, to actually do what it takes. Statistically, and this might cheer you up a little bit, they did a survey in America of some of the largest companies, and only 1 out of 10 ideas ever successfully get executed. 1 in 10, so 9 out of 10 ideas just bite the dust. Does that cheer you up at all? Well, okay. Now what I want to do is give you some examples of people that dug deep. When the going got tough, yes, you know what I'm about to say, the tough got going. And these guys really should, I hope, inspire you. And I want you to go out and just read their stories. Something that I do quite a bit is just read people's success stories and what they did go through in life. Because if you think everybody just got handed success on a silver platter, think again. We've all got our hard luck stories, but the difference is the people that succeed are the ones that really want it. So how bad do you want it? Well, let's look at Colonel Sanders. Now, this guy, I mean, he's a character. You know, Colonel Sanders actually got into a gunfight. See, he actually put this sign up near his servo where he's selling his chicken. It was a Shell service station, and one of the guys down the road, this big billboard on a sign, one of the competing service stations down the road, was getting up and painting over the sign where he was getting written up saying, "Hey, check out my Kentucky Fried Chicken." So, you know, the Colonel Sanders, he wasn't too happy, so what did he do? Well, he got his guns and he got 2 Shell managers to come with him from the Shell service station, and he got into a gunfight with these guys. In fact, actually someone was killed. That's how serious it was. One of the Shell owners was killed, and so the other guy ended up in jail, the competing servo. But man, I tell you, I talk about determination. I'm not asking you to go out and get a gun, but you should go and read his story. There's an amazing things. I mean, you learn he loves chasing women. He went and saw 1,009 service stations before he actually got his first yes when he was trying to offer his Kentucky Fried Chicken recipe to people. Now talk about determination. Truth be told, he'd probably be up in the paper. The bottom line is, he was an absolute hero when it came to not giving up. And you know what? The biggest thing was, he didn't start that journey till he was 65. He got his first social security check at about $100 and he said, "I'm not going to cop this." He got in his old car, had no money to his name, but he went to 1,009 stores and he said, "Listen, for every chicken you cook, just give me a nickel." That was his deal. 1,009 stores before he got his first customer. So how much effort have you put in? Let's talk about Walt Disney. Now, Walt Disney got fired for lack of creativity. Now, unbelievable. In fact, it's reported it was so tough on Walt that he actually was eating dog food to stay alive for a while. That's how poor he was. So, you know, if you think that you're doing it tough, once again, there's people that are always out there doing it tougher. In fact, I remember my dad telling me a story about a guy feeling sorry for himself because he had no shoes. And that was until he let a guy that had no legs. So, you know, it doesn't matter how tough you think things are, someone's doing it tougher than you and someone's doing better than you. So what you got to do is work out what you're going after and keep going after it. So Walt Disney didn't give up just because he got fired and they said that he wasn't creative. He went to MGM and he put his proposal and says, hey man, I got this mouse and he can talk. So do you think that was the start of his career? No. MGM said, a talking mouse, that'll never work. But did Walt give up? No, I don't think so. He kept on going. What about Steve Jobs? Now, he's one of my heroes. He's somebody that I'd love to model. I do my best to follow his philosophies, and you know, he's such a unique creative character, an individual, and he created so much success because he had that clarity of what he wanted to achieve in his business. He was not going to let anybody stop him. You know, his own company sacked him at the age of 30. Even though he'd built it up to this multi-billion-dollar organisation, they booted him out. And you all know the story, so he went on to create Next, and then Apple bought out Next and brought Steve Jobs back in, and he resurrected the company again from the verge of bankruptcy. They were about to go under. And because he had a dream and he had a vision and knew what he wanted to accomplish, he didn't let anything stop him. In fact, some of his tactics are pretty brutal. You know, he only kept a very, very small amount of individuals, something like around 7 top performing individuals surrounding him at any one time. You could not get into his inner circle. He protected his time that much because he stayed so focused on his vision. Again, I urge you to read his story of how he achieved his success. Now, there are so many individuals that have done it tough. You've got J.K. Rowling, that, you know, she was living on welfare in a little one-bedroom apartment. All she could afford was a cappuccino while she was writing her manuscript for Harry Potter. But she kept on offering it to publishers, getting rejected over and over and over and over again, until finally someone had the brains to say, you know what, I'll give it a shot. I'll represent this lady, and then the rest is history. She's one of the world's richest women these days. So guys, there's a few examples of you putting your head down, your bum up, and not giving up. How are you going? Are you trying to work on something at the moment, but it's just getting too tough and you're about to give up? Well, don't. Okay, now, I do say again, you've got to make sure you're using the right model. When you're in business, you've got to have the right business vehicle to help you get where you're going. But if you believe that you do have the right business model, well, I urge you, with all my heart, you believe in what you want to do. Get absolute clarity on what that is, and then do not let anything get in your way to helping you achieve it. Now, I did say there's a gift at the end of this video, and so what I want to do is I'm going to show you an example of somebody that followed our guidance and did what it took to succeed, and then I'm going to give you a gift at the end. It's the fastest, easiest way for you to double, even triple the results in your company. No, it's not a throwaway line. We do this all the time with our clients. The fastest, easiest way to double, even triple the profits in your business. So at the end of this video, after I'm going to show you one of our students and you listen to what they have to say, put your details into the offer, the free gift, and I'll send this to you. It's a very powerful white paper. It's not fluff. It's simply saying, hey, follow these processes, implement these into your company, and you can have more time off and get more profits than you've ever seen in your life. Guys, I do hope to see you at our StreetSmart environment. Take advantage of my free gift, have a listen to this, and I'll talk to you in our next episode.
Hi, I'm Brenda from FNQ Apartments in Cairns, and we are the premier holiday accommodation tours and transfers booking agent. There was a long time from when I started with StreetSmart, and I just can't, for the life of me, I cannot remember the years when I actually started with StreetSmart, but I reckon it was 2 years or more. Yeah, I reckon it was over 2 years before I actually started to see an improvement in my bottom line. There were a couple of small episodes where our turnover increased, but it wasn't until the last 3 months of the last financial year, the 2014-15 financial year, it wasn't until the last 3 months of that I consistently saw, sorry, I put a bug fly in front of my face, that I consistently saw an increase in the profits, and that's what I had been looking for, turnover's all very well, but what I wanted to see was an increase in profit, and that's what I saw in the last 3 months of the last financial year. So I reckon I went for a good 2 years with StreetSmart and working really hard and doing everything that I possibly could to make a difference. And then we started to see that change, and it's been consistent. So now I know I have got a change that is trending upwards, and I'm really happy about that. And I was determined to see that happen, and I'm really glad I hung in because, you know, I guess like anyone, you could give up at any time, but that wasn't going to happen. In April, I could see that there was a shift in what was happening with the business. We were getting much more busy. Our leads were more targeted, and I was watching this activity going on and the money flow increasing, and I kept saying to myself, geez, I wish I had time to get the MYOB in so that I could see what our profit is looking like. And so finally I got time in May to get April in, and when I saw the profit, I couldn't believe it. I just went, I can't believe this. Surely this isn't right. And I went all back over my MYOB stuff to make sure I had everything in and everything had reconciled, so it had to be right. And I was looking at this profit and I thought, oh wow, that's not going to last. You know, like we've had hiccups before. But then I was in May, and May was really looking very much like April. And so I was saying to myself, well, you know, maybe it has swung around. Maybe April, May, you know, maybe it's going to be great in May as well. And so then I couldn't wait to get the MYOB data in for May. So then I get the MYOB data in and I look at May, and May was fantastic again. And I said, oh my God, it looks like something's changing. But, you know, I was kind of skeptical, and I thought, oh, well, I won't get excited until I see it, you know, continuing, the trend continuing. So then June was going really well, and I got the June data in and it was fantastic. And I looked at the last financial year and I saw that our profit was so much better, and our profit in the last 3 months was amazing. And I thought, I'm not going to get excited until the accountant's been and had a look at it and told me that what I'm looking at is true. And the accountant came and said, geez, you've had a great last quarter. Actually, you've had a pretty good year. And I went, yes, we've done it. 3 months, you've got to call that a trend. It's more than a once off, it's more than a twice off. You've got to go 3 months as a trend. So we celebrated. When I wasn't really seeing any profit progress, you know, sometimes it was really hard to keep going. But Ian has always been there, doing whatever he could. If there was something had to get done and he could do it, he did it. And honesty and integrity, 100%. He's my hero.